Good day, folks. This is Greg Judy at Green Pastures Farm. Today, I was highlighting, we got our project done finally. We got the parking area done and actually hauled in some of these retaining blocks. We got these from, in Columbia. There's a place there, Columbia Ready Mix. It's a concrete company. And pretty sharp. Somebody had their head screwed on right, was thinking outside the box. They started selling these years ago. They have a big steel form that they put grease on. They grease it up real good. It sets on concrete. When those concrete trucks do a pour job, let's say you're pouring concrete and you order 3 yards and you only need 2.5. They bring that other half a yard back and they put it in these molds. And they're selling this stuff, and it's not cheap. I'll give you an idea. This one right here, that's a 6-footer. It's 2 foot by 2 foot by 6 foot, 3,900 pounds. I'm talking about that one right there. Okay, and you get different rock formation. This is called river rock. I kind of like that. It's a smooth. And then, of course, they sell a cap that goes on the top, and there's a V. They form a V in there so that the blocks are locked together. They can't fall off each other, or slide off, I might say. And they sell end pieces. So this would be an end. You want river rock shown on there, you don't want just smooth concrete. Anyway, for one of those 6 by 2 by 2s, it's $57. So there's several of them in here. I could only haul 4 at a time. They weigh, almost 4,000 pounds. So I was hauling 16,000 pounds on, Johnny let me use his double duals. Yeah, there's 4 tires on each side and they're super heavy duty tires. Anyway, we loaded these on right over the tires, and then I pulled them with my older Dodge truck, and that thing was a beast. I pulled Twin Bridges Hill down there, and it's a steep hill. Those of y'all know Twin Bridges. And the old Dodge just kept it going up the hill. But we got a base of rock that they're setting on, and we filled I wanted a parking lot out here in front of our finished shop. Okay, so you can see UPS. We got a lot of UPS, FedEx, Amazon deliveries, and instead of pulling down to the house and turning around, it can be a little tight when we have vehicles parked down here, they can turn around up here. And then Johnny put me a wall on this side, and this is going to be concrete over here. I still got to get some more rock. And on that side over there, I'm going to run a CCA 2 by 12 to form that in. And this will all be concrete. There's my door. Moe's did a really good job on this shop. It's all metal soffit, metal windows, steel door. There's nothing here that's gonna rot. It's all metal. I like the way it turned out. It's got metal soffits, and it's gonna have 4 10-foot doors in it. And it's stout. It's 32 by 48. And I still got a lot of work to do on the inside. I got to get it wired. And all this fill back here, this has all got to be filled in with rock. But before I fill it in with rock, I don't want the rock pushing my nice 2 by 12s out. So we're going to take George Heller, which pours a lot of concrete. He's got a concrete company in Minnesota. George gave me a good idea. He said, I was just going to put some rock behind it to keep it from pushing out. Maybe get some 2.5 inch. And he said, Greg, I'd use riprap, the big stuff. So we're going to put some 12-inch all the way along that wall right there. So when we do fill this in, it doesn't push my boards off of the shed. You can see the 10, the 10 only goes to right here all this is gonna be, it's gonna have rock on it. And that's a lot of weight. And I'm gonna rent a packing machine so I can, basically a tamping machine, so I can tamp all this rock along here. Because if I don't and I pour concrete in here, I can see what's gonna happen. It's gonna crack because that's gonna settle, and then you're gonna have a big old crack in your concrete. And somebody else, I think it was Johnny, my dozer operator, he made the comment, he said, Greg, I'd put piers in here. So, about every 6 foot, just run a pier. In other words, dig down into the clay. So when you do pour concrete, you got these piers down to the original soil, because this is all fill out here, folks. I'm standing on about, 5 foot right here. Pretty close to it. Here at Rucker, everything's a hill. Everything's a hill. I wanted to cover something. I really appreciate people's comments, and sometimes I lose track of certain little points that ought to be made. So you all, please don't stop making points when you see them. And I thought this was a really good one. Somebody made the comment the other day. I think I was showing the cellar down here. And then that next day, I was showing this wall going up, and Johnny hauling having the rock hauled in. We're building the workshop here. He's like, Greg, or whoever it was, said, I think you really need to emphasize where you're at in your life, as far as young people just starting out. You can't do this, folks. Jan and I started out with nothing, and we had to work day and night to get to where we are today. And now we can do things like this, and we don't go get a loan to do it. We have cash, we pay cash for it. But sure as heck is not the way to start. I mean, you see, we're doing all this stuff, and people are, I want to do that. I want to be like Greg. Well, I'm sorry, I'm 63 years old, and it took a lot of years to get to this point, and we did without a lot of years. I mean, Jan and I went 20 years without a tractor. Didn't have one. And we made do. It was tough some years, especially unloading hay and, blading snow. We'd have to hire a neighbor to come over and blade our driveway because we had 2 foot of snow in the driveway. And, you just learned to improvise and do with what you had. It wasn't fun and it wasn't easy, but we did it. And now today, we don't have to do that anymore. But I guess where I'm going with this is, don't go out and get a big loan to be like Greg, build a workshop and a cellar, and have some of this stuff. When you're first starting, I would highly, highly recommend putting your money in livestock. Something that eats a green blade of grass. Okay? This is what paid for that. The cows. Okay? So don't get your cart in front of the horse. You got to have cash flow, and animals give you cash flow. Buildings, metal, truck, ATV, all that stuff, trailer. None of that gives you cash flow unless you're using it as a business. Now, if you're in the excavating business and that's your job, well, then you've got to have it. But if you're in the grazing business, you don't need all that stuff. It's nice to have an ATV. That would be the first thing that I would shoot for after I had my cows bought and paid for. But I wouldn't go buy a $10,000 four-wheeler if I only had 5 cows. I'd use that $10,000 and go buy more cows and let them have calves. In several years, you can go pay cash for a four-wheeler. You got to keep the bank. You got to keep that interest out of your life, folks. And I don't know if y'all keep track of interest cycles, but I do take an investment newsletter. It's a good one. And we're going to get a half point, another half point, 0.5%. Everybody said, it's only going to be 0.25%, but no, it's going to be another half. inflation, the Fed's going to get control of inflation, he said. Well, good luck. But we've printed too darn much money, folks. And now all that money, there's fewer goods to be purchased, and that's the definition of inflation. And we've got it. And I think we're going to have it for a while. But anyway, don't get too far in debt and then get stuck with a 10% interest or a credit card that's over 20%. You're a slave. You're a slave to interest the rest of your life. The rest of your life. And you'll never get to where you want to go. You work and they just take it all. You work and they just take it all. So don't get in that position. Get land, lease it if you can. Get you some livestock. If you have to, custom graze starting out. Save up your money, buy your own livestock, and then let them supplement your future purchases. Don't go to the bank and buy all this stuff from, just getting a loan. It's going to put you down. It's going to put you always behind the 8 ball, which you don't want to be. Anyway, I'm sorry I went off on that rant, but I did want to make that, known that in real life, you got to have cash flow, and cash flow is generated by running animals. We're talking about a grazing operation here. And most people have way more infrastructure than they have animals. And at the end of the day, you're selling animals. You're selling grass. You're selling sunlight, solar energy collectors, green blades of grass. That's what you're selling. So anyway, I'm going to get off here. Everyone have a good one. And for those of y'all needing some really nice livestock, boy, we got them. I just posted 500 bred cows. These are 50% South Pole, and they're bred back to Judy South Pole bulls. And they're located in McAllen, Texas. And they're going to be calving here in June, July. And they are some pretty darn nice cows, and they're affordably priced. So anyway, if you're interested, go to greenpasturesfarm.net, give me an email, and I'll give you the particulars. Everyone have a good one. Take care.